CypherTalk. We are here with Shaq and Allison. What's up, guys?
What's up?
What up?
This is a cool setting. I like the setting. So thanks to E-Man for letting us use this space. So, are you guys nervous?
Hell yeah. Actually, you know what?
I
My
am.
hands are sweating.
It feels different to actually be like recording and stuff. I know Mark had like some jitters when he was doing it. I could tell like he starts talking differently, and it's so funny. He's like, so and it's like, okay, Mark, just chill out. Or MJ would like, she would go into like a very formal type of way of speaking, and it's just like, ooh, that's interesting. But it's after a while you get used to it because we usually do these for like an hour and a half or so, hour 15. So what's up? What's new with you guys? What are you guys doing now in your life?
In my life, just working. Just got married 6 months ago.
Woo!
So I'm settling down, but I'm coming back. And yeah, trying to dance again.
Yes. How did you start dancing? What's the story behind that?
My story is I didn't want to start dancing in the beginning. I'm a Sisler head. Grew up in the North End.
Ooh.
I needed electives for grade 9, and I chose dance. And yeah, I excelled in that. And growing up, those Filipino parties always are big on dancing and stuff like that. But I totally ignored that and just sat there being a whiny little kid, wanted to go home, never wanted to dance. But growing up, me and my brother, Germs, Flow Phonetics, what's up? We grew up on like a really diverse set of music genres from my dad. Like, I think that
Bee
totally
Gees?
helped. Yeah, Bee Gees. We went from like Boyz II Men to like Led Zeppelin and
Slipknot.
like AC/DC to like not Slipknot, but like like grunge, like 90s music and like
Puddle of
80s. So yeah. Okay, no, not that.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ace of Base. But yeah, I guess I get my musicality from my dad's music selection. And yeah, I was surprised back in like high school. Like, I didn't know I could dance until I actually started. And then
You get up on that mic.
oh yeah, sorry.
There we go.
And I got an invite. I didn't have to try out for SMW. They just added me in there.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
That happened with me one year.
So, but went to practice for 2 weeks. I hated it. Because I don't know
This
if I
sucks.
wasn't approachable or people just didn't want to talk to me. I'm like, man, screw this. I quit. Then it was like a couple of years that I met up with Romeo and Dennis just before Big Sky and did this like random workshop because I wanted to see if I could dance again and tried out for Big Sky 2006, and from there went to Unite, started my own dance crew with Roanne for So We Are Girls. Then met up with Dancers Club. It's a lot of crews that I met up with, but ended off with GoodFunk.
Yeah, nice. Wow. I think I first met you at Dancers Club. Was that?
Yeah,
where?
yeah.
Okay. Because I think me and Mark were talking about it. I'm like, I don't remember when I met Allison. She kind of just appeared. And then,
Yeah.
Then she was there. What about you, Shaq? How did you start dancing? You can get up on that mic too.
Word. I started dancing when I was in the 9th grade. But prior to that, like I have a twin sister, obviously, Chanel, right? And she was dancing a lot longer than I was. And she had her own crew at the time called No Silence. And anytime I would go to any of the performances, it was like, for me, and watching movies like You Got Served and, Stomp the Yard, all that good stuff. Yeah. All that good bullshit. It was always like, for me, I was like, man, like, how do they all know what each other's going to do next? Not thinking that they practice on their spare time. You know what I mean?
Practice. My crew, we don't practice.
Yeah,
We
word.
just do it.
We just
The
Come on, guys.
stupidest line ever. We just do it. Like, what?
I mean, that's how it happens, right? Like, When is rehearsal? Yeah, no, and then when I got into grade 9, I heard that my school, Garden City Collegiate, Fighting Gophers,
Yeah, man.
was Gucci.
Yeah, I like the tennis court. I don't know. They have a tennis court.
Yeah. They were starting a dance team, and I was like, oh, you know what? This is a great time for me, great opportunity for me to start dancing. So I went home, and this is like 2 weeks prior to the audition. I went home, I went on YouTube, and I was like, how to do the robot. And then I looked it up, and I tried to memorize as many moves as I could, and I went to school, and I did it. I made the team somehow. I mean, if there was a video of it, and I look back on it now, it's probably such trash. But I made it on a team, and that's how I am who I am today. You know what I mean?
Nice, nice. And I remember when I first met you, because it was at Jammin' for the Fam in like 2011 or something.
Yeah, right after I graduated.
And then you were like doing some tuts and some robot and some like finger tutting and digits and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, who's that guy? Who? I think I was there, and I remember seeing Egg there. But yeah, it was I was like, oh, what's up, man? How long have you been in this style or whatever I asked you. But I remember seeing you doing like that kind of style. What were like your influences at the beginning? Like, did you see like Pop and John early on, and you're like, oh, I like Pop and John, or how was it for you?
A lot of
Get up on that mic.
right. For me, oh damn, that was loud.
Yeah, that was pretty loud.
Well, our technician is adjusting the volume.
Raw.
This isn't Sparta, okay? Chill out.
Yeah, no, definitely Pop and John, Mr. Wiggles. Who else? Like, sure, I'm forgetting a bunch of people's names, but again, like those two, I remember like studying them for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like watch a bunch of Poffin battles and just like take influence from as many people as I could.
Yeah, there's a lot, right? Like sometimes when you just dive into the world of dance and a particular style, you're like, oh damn, there's this and all this, and like, oh, I'll never be able to do this, and then you end up doing it or whatever, right? So I guess would that be like your first like primary style? I guess like the robot.
That was, man, yeah, because all through high school, that was all I did. If it came to freestyle, it was like that was my go-to. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get into even putting moves together for choreography until like the 10th grade. So that was like a year later, and that was even then it was just like, Shaquille, we need a tutting section for this set. So
yeah,
I'm like, okay, I'll put some tuts together, whatever. And then it continued like that for the next like 2 years ish. I think by the 12th grade, I finally made a dance that wasn't just tutting, but it was still like popping.
Yeah.
And it kind of stayed like that. And then I think afterwards, when I graduated, I met you at Jammin' for the Famine. You invited me to Dancers Club, and you started showing me how to lock. And then, then I became a god. And, it's lonely at the top. But, if you guys want me to put on a workshop, let me know.
What was Garden City's dance team name? What was it called?
Oh, my goodness. We were, in the beginning, we were GC Sensation. I didn't come up with the name. And then we changed it to Reality Check afterwards.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, now it's still Reality Check. So shout out to Reality Check, OG.
How big of an influence does that team have on you? Like, especially in your early days, starting out with, I guess, dancing. Does it have a big effect? Is it that significant, or?
Well, I like to think back on it because I was there when it started. And, when we would go to places like Manitoba Dance Festival, people didn't really know who we were. And I kind of realized that, like, when you show up and certain people go on stage, they get a roar from the crowd immediately. They haven't even done anything yet, right? But because people know what they've done in the past, or they know who they are or whatever, blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wanted us to be able to make a name for ourselves. So eventually, at one point, when we show up, before we start dancing, people are already cheering for us. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And so when eventually it got to a point where that was the case. And I was proud of that fact alone, whether or not we got like gold honors or like first place for whatever competition it may be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it just felt good to be there from the beginning and feel like I'm working my way up to something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And you guys, I think that was kind of a little bit late as far as if you compare it to some of the other high schools that had dance teams. Like SMW had the dance team like way early on. Do you know what? Do you remember when it started, Allison?
Oh God, like
When Bob was like,
2000s.
yeah, like Bob was like
Yeah.
the original, like he's in the original SMW or whatever. And yeah, like you guys coming up. I remember a bunch of dance teams suddenly coming up, like St. John's, started like doing some stuff, and
I think Maples was
DMCI.
late in that too. In that
Maples
scene?
with Mob, Maples on beat.
True.
But yeah, it's that's kind of a crazy thing. Allison, how did you get into like the styles that you do? You like do voguing, Vogue? What do you call it? Voguing, whacking and whacking.
I've been through a lot. First things first. The first, I guess, official style that I tried out was actually breaking. It was kind of sad. Like,
Damn.
the reason it was like I bought the DVD. This was like what 2005 or 6, because I was like too shy to approach like Bob and them. Like, barely any girls at this moment. I'll just practice on my own. So I was in my basement trying to get down that 6th step, and then I came to the teddy bear stand, and then all my blood rushed to my head, and I just collapsed. I'm like, man, fuck this, I quit. I need something easier.
It sounds like Pop and Pete trying to break when he says like, "Oh, I tried to do this
Yeah.
windmill thing and like hit my head or something."
And then I'm like, I need something, I don't want to say easier, but like less physical and demanding on my body. So I started popping. So I guess the first, of course, was YouTube. It was like USA versus Japan, and then I saw Tetsuji of Fab Five Boogies, and I'm just like, wow, that's Scarecrow though. And then from there, I just started popping by like connecting with Yao and like Calvin with like Dancers Club. It was good timing too, because I think it was like their first workshop down in like, I think it was somewhere in Central Park or something, some Chinese dance room, I don't know. But yeah, so it was kind of intimidating, because again, I was like the only girl there, and then you got he's like pop harder, pop.
And then,
I'm like,
I was stone face. I call it a
Yeah.
stone face. He just stares at you while
I
you're
was like-
dancing, and it's just like
so
just like-
intimidating.
I'm like, oh shoot, like that. Yeah, it's
He's like a drill sergeant, and I was just like, oh. But no, I really have so much respect for Calvin and Yao. Like, they introduced me to that dance scene, and yeah, I met a lot of cool dancers like Angelo and Mark through Dancers Club. But yeah, from popping, I think the next one would have been House 2009 that I really wanted to get into. I didn't know any other dancers in Winnipeg who really wanted to get into it. So I was desperate. I'm like, I want someone to teach me this, but no one in the city could teach me at the moment. So I connected, did my research, and linked up with Link from Elite Force Crew.
yeah. There we go. I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, so
Link it. Yeah, that's cool.
oh my god. Should I just get into it then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I connected. I was surprised. I didn't think he was gonna like message me back, because I told him like, "Yo, I live in a city. We don't have that much mentors. Can you help me out?" And he's like, "Yeah. I'll help you out. Do you have
crazy.
Skype?" I'm like, "What? You want to Skype now? Okay." So we had this like 3-hour Skype session, and he's all teaching me all this history. I'm all writing all these notes, and my mom's like, "Who the hell are you talking to? Who's this old guy that you're talking to?" I'm
Who's
like,
this old black man you're talking to?
don't worry, Mom. He was in Michael Jackson's videos. It's all good. So yeah,
And your mom was like, "It's okay then."
so yeah, it was nice. I know. I noticed a lot of Winnipeg cats are paying notice to what's it called? The New School Dictionary.
Yeah. Oh, kind of like a side thing, but I remember when that came out on YouTube, and then you actually showed me some of the, I guess, DVD or something, or you just kind of pointed me in that direction. I'm like, oh shoot, and I started looking at it. I think, I don't know, in my opinion, this is my opinion, that I was like one of the first people who actually looked at those YouTube clips of the New School Dictionary and all the old school stuff, like the stuff on YouTube that's really big now. And I was like, oh yeah, I can learn from this because it actually showed vocabulary.
Oh yeah.
And then everybody started watching that and
Yeah.
like got everything from that. So
It's crazy. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, you know how they sell it on websites and you got paid. He's like, yo, here's a file. There you go. So I got it for free. And then he's like, for months we Skyped and he was checking on my progress. And he's like, Allison, I think you should come down to New York. You could stay at my place. I'm like, okay.
And he
I'm like,
fell in love.
Mind you, I was like with my husband over here. I don't know where he went, but
There's nobody there.
so yeah. Oh, here he is. Yeah.
Sure.
2009 was a big year. I finally went to New York. Stayed in Brooklyn. I stayed for about 3 days. Oh my god, I was mind blown by the dancers out there and their culture. He brought me to the Santos party house. Oh my god. Who was there? It was Joe doing his house moves. You got Link just partying around. Archie Burnett, he's a big figure in the whacking and punking scenes and the house scene as well. It was crazy because it was a mix of like all genres of dancers just getting down to the music, like straight positive vibes. And I wanted to take that home, which was awesome because 2 weeks later was the first All Styles Jam in Winnipeg. And I was just like, oh, I was so hungry just to unleash everything I learned. And yeah, it was nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When was that All Styles?
2009, I think it was
2009?
University of Winnipeg. What's that jam called?
I don't know if I was
Believe
there.
the Hype? I think it was.
Was it at U of W?
No. It was sponsored for
Oh,
you.
it was
their
like Graffiti
orientation
Gallery,
week.
wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I was there then.
Yeah. And then I like lost to like a guy from Albino Zero.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that
yeah.
guy's face though, because like he was like battling, then he like stood up and he gave that weird stare through his eyebrows or something, right? And he had like green like sweatpants or something.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Something
I
like
got
that.
schooled. But whatever.
That was pretty deadly. Yeah, that guy just came out of nowhere. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah.
So Shaq,
Yeah.
something I wanted to ask you was like, what do you attribute to your success as far as like doing a bunch of different styles and doing them pretty well? Because you're one of the only ones who's done like a variety of styles, but has kept the integrity of each style intact as you dance. So like, what do you attribute that to?
Probably because when I started locking, for example, when you were teaching me,
Yeah.
I kind of put popping on the back burner in a sense because I knew it would always come fluidly because I was doing that for so long.
Yeah.
So I focused primarily on locking while you were teaching me. Then when I finally got locking to a point where it felt comfortable and I decided to pick up another style, I think I started breaking after that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started to put locking and popping on a back burner again and focus primarily on breaking.
Okay.
While everything else, like all the other practice I would do for popping and locking would be just maintenance. You know what I mean? So I don't lose it.
Yeah.
Then if I pick up another style, like I feel like after I picked up breaking, my body kind of got accustomed to picking up different styles.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't take as long for me to adapt to the way I'm supposed to move. You know what I mean? So then I was able to pick up like more than one style at the same time. So once I started house, it didn't take long for me to adapt to, the way I should be moving in that style. And at the same time, I'm also working on making my own like choreography for like urban choreography. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I feel like it just came down to, at the time in the beginning when you're like, oh, like one style and you want to learn another style, I think definitely focus on that and don't try to learn multiple styles at the same time right off the hop, because then eventually, like, I feel like it burns you out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It kind of becomes overwhelming. You're like, okay, like whatever. You get it like to a point where it's kind of sloppy, but you kind of know how to do it, and then you're like, okay, good enough, and then you move on. and then it just kind of stays sloppy. You know what I mean? I feel like that's because I'd rather have a deeper understanding of the styles that I pick up rather than just the basics, just that shallow,
The feeling.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that because that's kind of how I describe learning multiple styles too. Because I was like, okay, I figure, okay, there's a lot of people who know styles, but know them in a shallow sense as far as, okay, I know like the basics of popping. I know the Fresno or whatever. And then I go into locking. I know like how to do a lock and a point and wrist roll.
Yeah.
I know how to do Scooby Doo. And then I go to like whatever. So I'm breaking. I know how to do 6-step and like CCs and like, simple footwork or whatever. But like no, like there's, I don't know why it's like that here, but it seems like it's rare that people go deep into each style. So like the way you described it was like, okay, I went deep into popping. Okay, learn like a vocabulary a lot, and then after that, kind of did drills for that for a little bit for maintenance, right? And then did locking.
Yeah.
So then you went deep in each style, and then you also along the way you maintained for each style, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like you are probably the blueprint of becoming like a really good all styles dancer, right? Like I kind of put you up there with Lady C and Pyro, I guess Canada wise, as far as like the all styles and stuff, because it's a lot of stuff to take in, and the way you have to do it is kind of like a systematic way.
Oh, damn. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. There's your bone. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. What do you guys think about
Yeah, hold on. I'm the best. Tell your favorite rapper to pull up.
what do you guys think about like hip hop and I guess the culture, but like also using the word hip hop in certain aspects? What do you guys think about that?
You mean like dance wise? Like,
Yeah. Like this is a hip hop dance class, and then it's something like you don't know what you're
It's
gonna
all
get.
heels dance.
It's all
to
it's all
T-Pain or
street
something.
jazz or something.
Oh, so like in the dance scene.
Yeah, let's say in the dance scene.
Oh, like in Winnipeg scene.
Yeah, let's talk about Winnipeg.
I think I guess in the choreo side of things, a lot of choreographers are actually acknowledging that they're not really truly teaching hip hop vocabulary, and they're calling it, what are they calling it now?
like urban choreography.
Yeah, urban choreography. So that's a good step, because I would say 6 years ago there's a lot of hip hop workshop with this guy and this guy, and then they're just teaching straight up boom cat choreography, and that was it. You didn't really learn any vocab. But I say nowadays in Winnipeg they're actually acknowledging the difference.
Mhm.
So that's a step up.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like hip hop is kind of turning into an umbrella term, or has been an umbrella term for the longest time. You know what I mean? You get like house, popping, locking, breaking, all those different styles. And I know that breaking is an element of hip hop, but like when you go to something like a dance competition, like Manitoba Provincial Dance Festival, whatever,
Yeah.
they say hip hop, but there's people doing a bunch of different styles.
Oh
there,
yeah,
right?
definitely. Like whacking out of nowhere.
Exactly, right? And do I have a problem with it? I mean, not necessarily. I mean, dance is dance to me, right? I guess we want to be specific. Like if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go teach. If I'm teaching a class or a workshop or whatever, and I want to advertise it, and I want certain people who I know are going to be interested in it to come to that class, I would be very specific with what I'm teaching. I'd be like, I'm teaching like urban choreography at this place at this time, whatever, right? If I'm gonna do like New Jack Swing or like a lot of those old school like fundamental styles, then I would then be like, I'm teaching hip hop. I'll be very specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand there's a lot of controversy there. You know what I mean?
What did you guys think of when Natasha Gori came here and was like ripping everybody like apart with like at festival? Because apparently there's some like I guess horror stories, if you want to call them that, because like people like students were like, oh no, like oh, because I think one point she handed out like I guess an adjudication that said like this is not hip hop. Don't ever do this and enter it as hip hop or something to like some student. And I was like I on one side I was like, okay, that's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
But the other side of me was like, yeah, finally somebody's actually like really pressing the point that, you know, the styles have to be clearly categorized, or like people have to know what they're getting into if they go into the hip hop category for like a dance competition, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Did you guys hear about that at all?
I heard about it. I wasn't there. Judging from what you said, yeah, it sounds harsh, but it is true. But I don't know. I guess you could have said it nicer. I don't know. I don't know. Like again, a lot of the people who enter are like studio dancers. I'm not breaking them down or anything, but it all comes down to the teachers in these studios, right? And what they're teaching.
That's true.
But like, yeah, there's like dope people who know their vocabulary, but it's really, really small. We're a small community in terms of like the freestyle aspect of like dance genres, but we're getting there. We'll get there sometime, but at this moment, yeah, we do have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Shaq, have you experienced any of those adjudicators that I would say, I'm going to do in quotations, are unqualified to judge your category?
I feel like, well, I can't remember many times where I was like, you know what, I could probably do something better than this guy. But there was, I remember I did one competition and I forget what it was called, but the judge or adjudicator came up to me afterwards. He's like, man, like, how do you do that and whatever. I'm like, man, you're the adjudicator. You should know everything. But I was in high school at the time. So, I mean, I understand that not everybody can do everything, right? As for that, like, Natasha incident, like, I feel like it definitely could have been handled in a better way, because if you think about it, it's not the kids' fault for
No.
It was what they were taught. You know what I mean? So if
Exactly.
anything, like, be like, hey, you know, tell your teacher that this is not.
Again, this is what
you know what I mean?
I heard, and I might be butchering the actual story of it, but that's pretty much the how the gist of it goes. So yeah.
Well, I mean, even so, like, even if you tell the teacher that, hey, like, this is not hip hop, whatever. At the end of the day, like, no matter what they did, like, if the teacher taught them something else, or even taught them fundamental styles and whatever, or taught them, like, let's say house only, they did an entire set that was just house, and they entered in that competition and festival, it still would have been thrown in the hip hop category. So I feel like Natasha was probably just getting getting mad at the wrong people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what? I think in that incident, it was probably just because the style was like not even remotely close to a street dance style. Maybe it was like street jazz or jazz funk or whatever, and maybe it's more jazzy more than anything else.
Yeah,
that was probably what happened, because I entered my category, my students, and they were doing like I think they were doing locking, and they were doing some strutting and stuff. And then she knew what it was, and she didn't diss me at all. She actually gave me props. Hey. But yeah, so pat on the back for me.
Let me just plug myself on quick.
But yeah, there's been I guess better adjudicators at festival like lately, rather than, because like before I remember, like, I guess mid 2000s, maybe early 2000s, they wouldn't have that great of like adjudicators or qualified, because Kim Sato was here one year, and she did a really good job. And she actually, like, one thing that I picked up from her adjudication was she would tell the people who were doing whacking, they do drills, like whacking drills on stage. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Like in my head, not like for real though. I was like, yeah. That's
the
right.
One guy cheering, yeah.
Because it's so quiet there. Have you guys experienced that? Like, it's like you just want to be like, yeah, but like it's so reserved that it's like, ooh, I can't breathe though. Yeah. So yeah, Shaq, I had a question for you. I kind of slipped my brain. Oh, okay.
What's your favorite food? Well, let me tell you, it all started.
Is it fried chicken and watermelon?
I was listening to Slipknot.
Oh God, Slipknot.
You know what's funny? That one time after, I forgot, I think it was Dance for MS. Then we went out for like McDonald's. We went to Ken's restaurant, and then we went to McDonald's for ice cream. And you're talking about your golf story, your golf horror story with your cousin or something hitting you in the head with a golf club. I just remember that was the most that's the most fun I had after jam like ever, because it's like everybody just joking around and stuff.
True. Listening to my downfall, my rise to fame after.
But one thing that I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you're comfortable. You don't have to answer the question or whatever. But I had Jeannie on, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, and everybody wants to know about this. Like everybody wants to know about. Well, not everybody. I assume everybody wants to know. Like people want to know about what happened with Boss and that whole fiasco. Because Jeannie gave us his side of the story, which was very general, by the way. It was very like generic, so it wasn't very specific or anything. But he was like, "Oh, it's cool now and everything." So I just wanted to get your side of the story or your thoughts on that whole thing.
So I'm assuming you probably want to know why I left, right? Especially after.
It's kind of like, you know, when Tempo left G Style and like, what? Tempo left G Style? How did he leave G Style? What happened? Like, yeah, it's kind of like that. So, and he gave an explanation video on YouTube and like, oh shoot. So this is like my version, Winnipeg version of that whole thing. Except the G Style one was more like, it was bigger than that. Like the beef was bigger, I guess, or whatever. So.
Well, you know, I just want to let all my fans know that, you know, we might be coming back.
Reunion tour
2017. Oh, jeez. Well, let's see. I just had, like, my personal reason for leaving was because I had my own goals, and I didn't feel that, you know, I would be able to accomplish those goals while still being on that team. Because, you know, I wanted more exposure as a choreographer and a dancer, and more so as a choreographer, obviously, because as a dancer you can do that on, you know, a lot of different teams, right? And I felt like, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons why I left. I don't want to like throw shade or anything on anybody. You know what I mean?
And like with the whole separation and everything, was it because some of the members also went on to your new crew that you developed, right? Yeah. So was that their own decision, or like what was the story behind that?
Anybody that joined me from Boss left of their own volition, because I keep telling you, anybody I tell the story to, I always let them know I never once, you can ask anybody, I never once said you should quit Boss. Mm-hmm. I never once said join me. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to recruit people for the dark side. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I understand a lot of people left, but a lot of people, like, because obviously on the team people started talking, right? They talk about things more than just what's going on in practice. Yeah, you know what I mean? If we hang out all the time outside practice, and eventually there were conversations that came up where they were like, Shaquille, and the thing is too, maybe like 6 months or a year prior to me even leaving the team, people would be in my ear. People who come from different groups. Like, not even people that all hang out together. Like, people from different teams, people from, like, that don't even dance or whatever will come up to me like, Shaquille, you should start your own team. Shaquille, you should quit Boss. Like, I feel like, or, like, I've had people even be like, you know, Shaquille, you feel like, we feel like, you know, you've outgrown the team. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I've always been like, no, you know what I mean? Like, Boss is going to come up. You know what I mean? And we're, like, I'm going to stick with it, and we're going to get here, and here. Whatever. I had my own goals, and I was like, we're going to get there. But then after a while, I started to realize, you know, like I started realizing, like, you know what? Maybe these people are right. Maybe they have a point. And to me, I thought, if I started my own team, like, would anybody even follow me? You know what I mean? Would I be able to make that much choreography if I have to make an entire set on my own? You know what I mean? I guess just kind of questioning my own abilities as a choreography and a dancer. And, but then, you know what? I was like, okay. But then it got to a point where, like, people are like, you know what, Shaquille, like, if you don't make your own team, like, I'm gonna go join like this team, or I'm leaving. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So people were gonna leave regardless, and it wasn't that, like, that's not the reason why I started my own team. But again, it got to that point. Is what I'm trying to say, right? Like, so I made my own team, and then these people were like, hey, like, I'll follow you. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
And if I had like 5 people follow me, I was like, okay, like this is good for me. You know, but more and more people wanted to join, and I was like, hey, let's do this. You know what I mean?
So, as far as I've kind of lost my train of thought. That happens sometimes. But yeah, Allison, what happened with So We Are Girls? Is this like a really like controversial thing, or
No,
I don't know what
not
happened?
really.
So I don't know what happened. I have no idea.
It's funny because when I'm listening to Shaq, it's like similar to my experience with like Unite. Like I left on my own accord to start my own thing, and I felt like I grew out of it. So I got a few of my friends and like, hey, I know you can dance. Start our own team, right? And there wasn't much like all girls teams, so we really wanted to like represent. I was fortunate to have at least one other choreographer because again, choreographing a whole like 5 minute set on your own is freaking hard.
Yes, very hard.
But yeah, it's funny because the first performance we had was Dance for MS at Jeannie's old high school. And that's where I saw Shaq for the first time. You had your
there it is.
textbook tut routine. I was like, oh, yo, that guy's sick. I wonder if he knows how to pop. That's the first question that popped in my head when I saw Shaq. But yeah, we were a group of 5 for I don't know 2 years. Just to
Who's all
dance
in
for
that?
me, Rowan, Olivia, who's with Marquis. Moran helps out at Studio 393. Win, recruiter from Unite, and Giselle. I met her through Demisia's workshops, and Caitlin was added on probably 2 years later with MJ.
Who's Caitlin?
Kizzer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know anybody by their real
Kizzer.
names.
So yeah.
Shaq, what's your real name?
So yeah, we were just a small team, nothing serious. We didn't want to do like, oh, I want gold at Manitoba Dance Fest. No, but we just wanted to do it for fun. This is where we really experimented, like genres that we couldn't really do, like dance hall, like straight up. I made a popping routine with them. It was pretty cool, but we did, I don't know, the first Vogue set in Winnipeg. And yeah, we kind of branched off. Like people were concentrating on their careers and graduating university, but no, a couple of them are still dancing.
I think Olivia's pretty underrated as a dancer.
Oh yeah,
her performance, like her stage presence and everything, is like whoa.
She's a powerful dancer. Her and Ashley Ann Cloak, those two are so powerful, and yeah, they remind me of each other. But I'm so glad. Actually, Ashley Ann made her comeback with Kizzer's crew.
Was it Vibe Tribe?
Yeah, I was like, because me and Ashley Ann, we used to work at Aldo together. I'm like, Ashley Ann, you need to come back, man. Like, what the hell? Come back. And then she did, and I'm so proud of her. But yeah.
Who's Ashley Ann? Is that the white girl?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, the white girl with moves.
So are you guys gonna be entering any battles or competitions soon, or
almost like a Shaq daddy over here? I don't know if people know this, but yeah, I just came back from like retirement. And,
Oh, you came back, girl?
Yeah, remember I did that battle?
yeah?
Oh yeah, true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Baby
so
girl. I'm back on that talk about baby girl.
I'm back. But I'm just taking my time. Like, I don't know. Seriously, 1.5 years without full-time training. Oh, I feel like a beginner now. Like, I know the knowledge is in my head. The moves are in my head, but my body just cannot translate it. So, man, I commend you, Shaq, for like keeping it constant and like, don't take a break, or else you turn out like me.
I can't. I don't think I could have even
Well, sometimes it's better to just like start from scratch again, because you can still mess up people like in battles, like not mess up people. I mean, like battle people really well with just basics and just flipping a few basic stuff. Like that's the one thing that I've thought of recently is like, oh, I could probably just like have this one style and just flip it a little bit, like like considering the music and everything, but just flip it a little bit and you can still mess people up. It's like, oh, like right, because that's where the level is still at in Winnipeg, but and sometimes the basics are just like, people forget about the basics. They try to do too much.
Yeah.
That's one thing that Boogaloo Sam would mention to some of the other EBs like Sugar Pop and Mr. Wiggles and Pop and P. It's like, you guys do too much, Yeah.
Y'all too flashy. Tone it down.
So are you traveling anytime soon, Shaq?
Well, I'm actually going to Toronto again in
again.
November. Yeah, I know. Third time this year.
Don't move out there. Stay here.
Terrified of flying, but here I am. I live on the plane. Yeah, so I'm doing Nothing But Fire coming up on November. Oh my gosh, August. August 27th. I'm also doing one other jam. I'll let whoever's hosting it promo their own event. He hasn't put it up yet, so
okay,
I'll wait on that. That's in September. I won't be doing it, but I'm gonna be judging. So come out whatever, like whatever it is. I don't know what that event is, because it's not promoting the event features. Anyway. But yeah, if there's another battle that comes up, I always told myself, I'm like, you know what? Because people will get to a point where they're like, oh, I'm gonna take a step back and let the younger kids battle or whatever, and I'm like, fuck that, like
yeah, no kidding, man. I ain't old.
I'll crush them until they beat me, what I mean? Not to say that like I've always been winning, because I obviously wasn't, right? Like I didn't get into top 16 for the first time until October of 2014. Right?
Yeah,
it's been a very short time. And I've been battling since 2011, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that was like a good 3 years and never won a single round. You know what I mean? But I digress. I will be doing a competition out in Toronto in November, but it's not going to be a battle. I mean, if there's a battle going on at the same time, I'd love to participate, but it's just a choreo competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, can I
No, go ahead.
So do you plan in the next little while, instead of just doing all-stars battles, do you want to enter like a legit locking battle, a legit house battle? Do you have that?
You know
sometime?
What? I would actually love to do that.
Yeah.
The opportunity just never come up, and in Canada, I don't have my passport right now, and it's kind of a hassle again. So going to the States for one of those kind of battles is just like, oh my gosh, there's so much money. Especially with the dollar. But
hey, I did it. So shut your face.
No excuses.
Okay.
Go and meet Boogie Frantic, man. Come on.
Get a sponsor.
You guys hear that static in the background? No, I would love to do like a straight up popping battle or a straight up locking battle, especially like the ones that I would see in Bust a Move or like Just a Boo. Like I would love to see how I stack up in that particular style. I mean? I know I probably wouldn't do much in like house or anything like that, but the first like couple styles that I started with that I have the most experience in, I would love to see how I do in just that style.
I think you do pretty well, man. Like I think you could beat Pyro and locking. Track lock, I don't know. Track lock's hard to beat now. Like track lock's crazy. That one battle with track lock and Pyro.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if you saw that when I think track lock's character was like an old man.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap! This guy goes on forever. He's crazy. Like to me, he's like our version of P-Lock.
Yep.
And then Scramble Lock is like our version of like Gemma and I.
That's actually so accurate.
So I don't know what that makes me or what that makes you, but you're like Willow or something.
True.
But yeah, and then one thing that I noticed too, when I was in Seattle, there's this guy named they call him Wonder Bread, but I think his name is Bryce. He's from Heavy Hitters. He has like a style that kind of like reminds me of like something that you would like eventually come up to, like a style similar to that, which is very like robotic, with adding popping, and then he has like some intricate waves. But he also has these crazy different levels where he goes down to the floor and does something, but it still looks robotic. And I was like, oh, Shaq could probably do some of this kind of stuff. So if I were you, I'd like try to link up with some of the heavy hitters like Mega Man and even like Too Tall, because Too Tall is like this freaking
He's too damn tall.
like you could relate to him, right? He's like a tall dude, and he still does like the style really well. So a lot of those guys from Vancouver are really crazy with their robot. So yeah, I think you do well. Have you entered any specific style battles, Allison?
No, for the longest time I wanted to, but I had no confidence to do so. I really one day I would really love to do a whacking battle. I would love to do it. I just the atmosphere, just being so free on the floor and the movement. Oh, but again, there's nothing in Winnipeg.
You guys know who Rena is?
No.
Rena?
Locking Rena?
No, not locking. No, she doesn't. I don't think she locks. She does. She's from Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
And actually, me and Wonder Bread had this conversation, and also Spooks. Braden was talking about. We were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, like, do you know Rena?" And he's like, "Yeah," and like Spooks was saying this, and then like Spooks was like, "Yeah, everybody has a crush on her," and she does whacking, and she does it really, really well. I think she won like 2 or 3 times in a row at Vancouver Street Dance Festival.
Oh, for real?
And she's she's insane. If you guys ever have the time, check it out.
I was actually just gonna say, Allison, you should go to. Actually, you know what? I want to do it too, but going to Vancouver Street Dance Festival, and that would be a great place for us to try that. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Get into single style.
Give me a little bit more time to get there. I'm starting from the bottom again. Yeah, not yet.
Who are your favorite dancers? Like, who do you guys like? Really like a lot.
International or local?
Let's do both. Why not do both?
Shaq, you go first.
I would have to list them by style because I have a lot of favorite dancers. Oh gosh. Okay, I'll list like top 3 for popping. Top 3 for popping right now, probably just because it's closer to the aesthetic that I aspire to be.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Easily like Mad Chad, Poppin' John, and who else? That's all I can think of right now for popping. But for locking, like Locking Con,
Korea,
Trek Lock, and I'm really actually I'm a pretty big fan of I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry, Apachapuli
Lock.
Yeah, there you go.
Apachapuli Lock.
And then let's see. For house, I know he does like I'm sure everybody knows him. The guy that does all the tutorials, whatever. That Jardy Santiago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like the way he does house. I really like even watching people from like Elite Force do house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or who else?
Do you know who Brian Green is?
Oh yeah.
No.
Brian Green is
does
insane.
Everything. He could do everything.
It's like polyrhythms and stuff. It's like, what? How do you even do that? Are we recording right now? Eman, are you recording? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey. I don't know how the lighting is. But anyways, yeah, continue on. Shaq, sorry.
Well, for like urban choreography, well, where do I start? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll go like famous first, and then I'll do local. For famous choreographers, I think definitely like people like Bam Martin, Sora Yang. Shoot, I'm blanking. What's his name? Marcus Pay Benito. There's a lot, honestly. I'll stop there for famous choreographers. Okay. For local dancers, oh my gosh. There's a lot of people I like for a lot of different reasons. But like definitely one of the people I look up to a lot is like Kelvin 2. I really like Alamar, Patrick Fernandez. I know it's a lot of project guys, but they all have different aesthetics and they're all very good at what they do. You know what I mean? They're all super good in their own right. I like for B-boys, let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I should do that.
Which one sucked the most? Come
Let's
on.
see, I mean, I don't know if anybody's as good as I am, so I just gotta pick from like, all this trash. Just kidding.
B-boys, I like Shaq.
Damn. Let's see, which one of my students do I want to pick? No, I really like, because again, they all have different ways of moving, and that's what I like about the b-boy scene too. Is that because they're all freestyle dancers, they don't have to look like anybody else. Like that's kind of the goal, right? So I feel like anybody, like all the people that I practice with, like Arbin, J-Rec, Germs, all of them had different aesthetics to the way they break that I appreciate. I feel like I take something from each of them. You know what I mean? When it comes to like popping and locking, like I love practicing with you and with Angelo and Mark, right? Because I feel like it pushes me to make new things all the time. And when I'm practicing by myself, it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I cypher with these guys, all of a sudden I'm getting all these ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
Yeah, damn right. I was waiting for that shout out. So I don't know if I could pick favorites necessarily. So I feel like I just take influence from a lot of different places.
Nice. Allison?
Okay, go famous first, I guess. I guess mine's mostly like OGs. I don't really like going on YouTube and like checking out battles, but I really, for whacking, my hero is freaking Princess Lockaroo. My God, her and her helicopter whacking, and it's ridiculous. Ibuki from Japan, frick, she's so young, but she like kills it on the floor with the musicality and getting everything done. Vogue, Javier Ninja, House of Ninja, ridiculous. I love it. Hip hop, of course, Elite Force. Popping forever is Green Tech. I love Green Tech. I'm Green Tech stan. OG wise, Mr. Wiggles. Can't deny. Okay, local. I'd say I have 4. Callianne, Cal's. My God, she's on a different level for Winnipeg. I don't know why she's still here though.
I can beat her. Just don't give me dance hall and I can beat her.
Just stack the odds in my favor.
Temps, like since he started
word.
back in like Flofanax, I knew he had this crazy drive. I love it when he's on the floor. J-Rec, Mr. Footwork.
Yeah.
Like him better than my brother. Just kidding. And yeah, I would say those 3 are my favorite in Winnipeg. Sorry, guys.
Sorry if I didn't pick you. Just start practicing more.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, what do you guys think about the scene now? Like as far as its progression over the years. Like, do you guys think? What do you guys like about it? What do you guys don't like about it? What do you guys want to see be improved upon?
I like how I know a lot of people are being annoyed, like, oh, all-style spells, too many of them. I'm like, for real? I had to wait, like, how many years just to enter a battle in Winnipeg?
Yeah.
So I have no complaints. Like, I know people are like, oh, not enough to train, whatever, you're freestyling, just get with the music, right? But, like, lately, like, I just hosted that battle for the car show, that Shaq won, Mr.
Yeah.
500 over here. And there was like people there I haven't met, and I'm like, whoa, new faces. So keep it coming. What I'm sad about is not enough b-boy jams going down at the moment, and hopefully it'll turn around, but we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I have no issues really.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with there being a lot of all styles battles. I mean, obviously like if it goes back to back all styles, that's kind of less than desirable. Like when I say back to back, I mean like a week. The next week there's another,
or like every
battle.
month or something.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah. I don't have a problem with there being a lot, because think about it. If you're somebody who's a competitive person and you train, you go to a battle and then you lose like the second round, you're all let down or whatever. You're like, you know what, I'm gonna come back better next time.
Yeah.
But then you have to wait like 6 months for the
Yeah,
next battle. Like
that's
that.
shitty. I don't want to wait like
I mean,
once
you
a year.
forget about the time you lost. You know what I mean? You lost that drive already. You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with it. I think as long as we, keep switching up the DJs,
Yeah,
like keep the
definitely.
music like fresh every time, then definitely like throw as many jams as you want. You know what I mean? And I feel the same way. I kind of wish there was more b-boy jams, but I also wish that there was like those other single style
Like
jams.
locking, a
Like,
whacking
we just
battle,
don't
a
have
folk
enough.
battle.
How would you guys go about doing that? Because I've been obviously for a long time I've been thinking of throwing. Okay, let's throw out a pure popping battle. It's a popping battle, or let's do a locking battle. But how would you guys suggest to go about doing that? Because it seems like it's hard. Like, 'cause first of all, you got to have a judge, at least one judge, right?
True.
To do that thing, and like they're not going to be entered in the battle. So now it's already minuses like one person who's like really good, like
25% of the locking scene.
yeah. So like how do you guys think that should be done? Like in your case, Allison, like maybe if there's a whacking battle, right? There could be a whacking battle, by the way, because enough people learn whacking in studios
True.
that there could be a whacking battle. Like if you said, hey, there's going to be a whacking battle, and then so and so is going to judge and whatnot. So how would you guys go about doing that?
I think it would have to be a combination battle. Like, just because our sample size is so small, it would have to be like an all styles, one style battle.
Yeah.
Like, first session would be lockers. Like, we'll have like like a 3-way, I don't know, Angelo versus Shaq versus Mark, and then the crowd's the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, unless if you had the funds to like get out of town judges and do that,
true.
yeah. Like if you were to get your mentors to fly down here and do it, yeah, it's gonna be short, but hey, what can we do, right? Whacking, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
House, I think we could do a house battle now.
I think we can definitely do a house battle.
Les definitely mentored a couple of good dancers, so I think it's possible for house. But I would say locking and whacking would be hard to do a one styles jam here.
Yeah.
I think it's just waiting on one person to be like, okay, I'll take this risk and throw a one style jam, and then everybody be like, okay, let's start doing this now, right?
Yeah.
And then people would want to win in the other styles. Like they would like kind of like, okay, maybe I should just specialize in this one style for like a few months or whatever, just to win the battle, and then maybe they'll get into it and they'll keep doing the style.
Yeah.
So maybe that would be a good way of introducing it. But yeah, maybe you should do a house battle.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like, you know what? Like, if somebody threw a single style jam, like just locking or whatever, and you got people who kind of have interest in it, they're like, oh, I practice on the side or whatever, but it's not like my main.
Yeah.
And then a battle like that came up, and then they entered it or whatever, they would probably end up like inspired. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
like, I really want to get better at this, and then
Yeah.
get better the next time or do better the next time. You know what I mean? I feel like that would kind of be like the catalyst.
Definitely.
I guess, right?
I think a lot of cats will like benefit out of these one style jams. Definitely.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the music at all style battles?
I tried, but apparently there was issues with mine. But whatever.
Hey,
I
you know what?
tried.
Actually, you know what? Sorry, just on the last question that you asked
go ahead.
before, I remember you mentioning, Allison, about like kind of combining the two, or you do like a single style and another style or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Toronto, there was a battle that was going to be going on the following month, where it would be at all styles, but like the top 16, every person that made the top 16 would get paired up with a house dancer, right? So I feel like if we were to throw a jam that was like just locking or whatever, we could potentially like top 16 would be paired up with, or like top 8 would be paired up with a locker or whatever, something like that. You know what I mean? If we ever get to that point where there's that many people who are like that confident in their locking, they could just do that. That would be a great way, I think. We could get closer to that than an entire battle just locking. But To your second question, I forgot what it was, so repeat it to me.
Music at
yeah,
jams.
music.
Yeah. So, I don't know. To me, I feel like you can only complain so much about the music. Because if you're entering an all styles jam, you gotta be prepared for anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only time I complain about music at an all styles jam is when they're playing stuff like Barbie Girl. And
Oh,
like,
I hate that shit.
That's just really annoying.
Like, I didn't train for this shit.
Exactly, you know?
I want a fucking hard ass
I've
jam.
been waiting to beat freak this freaking Spice Girls song
Yeah,
forever.
it's so corny, man.
Because
Stop it.
Like, I will practice all styles. Like, and I literally purposely put, it's not even music that I listen to like on a regular. Like, I put music on my iTunes or whatever in my library, and I have playlists for all styles sessions that I host on like Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever, to prepare for all styles battles, right? And so you have all these different genres that are constantly playing in practice, and you get all this practice, and you're like, the battle's coming up, you're like, all right, I'm ready. I practiced at literally everything. Well, obviously I'm not sitting in practicing the Spice Girls and like S Club 7, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go to the battle and that's all you get. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's all they play, but it's just like just want battles to be taken a bit more seriously in terms of music. You know what I mean?
DJs need to step up their game a little bit. But there are also some DJs who play like really good music too.
That's true. I'm not like throwing shade on any DJs like in the city, but that's just one aspect of music and all styles battles that I'm not a fan of. Because don't get me wrong, sometimes there's some real bangers that get played at all styles jams. You know what I mean? I keep my auto Shazam on when I go to all styles.
Like, well, unless you get like because the kind of dancing associated with that kind of bubblegum pop music is like the video dance, right? Like those like music video choreography type thing. So I guess if you play that music, then people are more, I guess, prone to do that kind of style, which I do kind of see in some pockets. Like I know Mike Groot does a style that's kind of similar to that, right?
Yeah.
Like I could tell, like, oh yeah, this would be perfect for like pop music, right? Like Britney Spears or something like that. But I don't know how it fares in an all styles battle where you like have multiple styles and like I don't know, not a lot of people do that kind of video choreography thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are you guys enjoying the Olympics? We have it going on in the background right now.
Are we winning?
I don't know. I don't see the
We're,
score.
we're watching volleyball.
They're
men's
hugging.
Canada versus USA.
These
we won?
gigantic men. Oh shoot!
Dope.
This is the Twerk Team Championships.
Damn right.
2016, held in Brazil. What is this, Rio?
Yeah. Yeah.
Brazil.
Hey Shaq, how tall are you?
Tall enough. 6 foot.
Tall enough for what?
Tall enough for your girl. I'm 6'2", 6'2.5". Last time I went to the doctor, he's like, "Oh, you're 6'2.5". So, I mean, I've probably grown since then because I haven't like been measured. That was when I was in like the 9th grade, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I was very tall, very young. I hope I'm not any taller than that. I'm not trying to get any taller. I mean, I'm self-conscious.
You ever watch any like really tall poppers or anything?
Tall poppers.
Well, Mad Chad's kind of tall, right?
Yeah, Mad Chad's pretty tall. I'm pretty sure he's like my dad's height. Like he looks like he's like at least 6'5".
Slim Boogie's kind of tall too. Like,
Oh,
I saw him in real life in Vancouver. Yeah, no, he's kind of tall. Have you seen any of Too Tall's videos?
I think I might have seen one at one point, but I don't remember.
Mhm.
I just haven't really watched him very much.
You know who? What's his name? Oh, I totally forgot his name now. He was. I think he's in Groovatrons or something. Forget. Oh, it's gonna bother me. But yeah. Cool.
Yeah, no, honestly, Avina, before when I was like in reality check and when I was, doing locking and all that stuff, even dancing after high school, I was self-conscious about being tall for the longest time, being a tall dancer, especially like here in Winnipeg. don't get me wrong, I love Asian people, but we're not the same.
Oh, I want to hear this. I want to hear this. Let's go.
We are not the same. Just in terms of like stature, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not every day you come across like Asians who are around my height. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I remember like at one point, like my dad's like don't get me wrong, I love my dad, but at one point, like he's pretty old school, right? And so at one point when I was in high school, he's like, man, like I think it was in the 12th grade, and I'm like towering over everybody, right? He's like, man, like when are you gonna give up this dancing thing? It's not cute anymore. You're not one of those Asians, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, man, Dad, like they're not as young as they look, okay? Like they're all my age. They're just small.
We're just genetically shorter.
But I love running into other tall dancers because in traveling, like you come across a lot of different dancers, different builds, and whatever, right? Like in Toronto, I met a lot of tall dancers. I never felt more at home, you know what I mean? Seeing people at eye level, you know what I mean? So I definitely think that, and I used to beat myself up too. I used to be like, man, like if only I was smaller, I could move faster, you know what I mean? Or I could break easier. But just putting up those limitations on yourself, just like once you think you can't do something, you're hella right. You know what I mean? You gotta like at least think, maybe I can do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then rise to that occasion, because you don't want to tell yourself you can't do something when in reality you could. You just thought you couldn't, so you didn't even bother trying.
Yeah, it's like that what's that? Henry Ford quote. You know that Henry Ford quote? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
How important are those quotes and those inspirational types of things? Like, because I know that for me, like they're cool and everything. Sometimes they're kind of cheesy, but they're true, right? Yeah. So how does that work into like your dance and how you think about things?
Oh, I live off quotes. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys ever look at the practice spots page, but I post a quote every time.
Oh yeah, you do.
Either a quote,
and then like you and Winston kind of joke around about it, but I could kind of tell that you guys take it seriously, like as far as the quote goes. Yeah. But it is kind of like sometimes it's kind of like cheesy in a way.
Yeah.
Because I'm like I understand the value of them too, but I'm also on the like that's kind of funny, like that's
yeah. Well, it really helps me because quotes like that kind of put things into perspective. I always look for inspiration in as many places as I can, and if a quote is gonna like inspire me to do something, then I'll keep looking for those quotes. I keep looking for that fuel. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like as corny as they may be at times, I still enjoy them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like something to fall back on. You're like, you know what, do it, or you'll never get to do it again.
Yeah, it's just straight up motivation.
Yeah.
Especially you usually post it because you want cats to show up to practice, right?
Yeah, it's not just to show up to practice. Yeah. It's just, before I started doing it because I wanted to like guilt trip people into going to practice. Like, come on, like you could die tomorrow. But again, like I want other people to like if this works for me, it might work for somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I just keep doing it. You know what I mean? People keep like I've actually had people come up to me and be like, hey, you know what? Like I appreciate and these are people who like a lot of times don't even come to practice, but they still look at the post for that quote. You know what I mean? Specifically for the quote. Like, man, I love the quotes you post all the time, whatever. Because the thing is too is I try to refrain from posting quotes that are constantly like all over social media. You know what I mean? Like the really obvious ones.
And the weird ones are the ones that people they post it, but then they act contradictory to that quote.
Oh, the hypocrisy!
Like those girls are like, "Beauty's only skin deep," and meanwhile they have like provocative pictures on their profile or whatever. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah. But yeah, cool.
I love me some quotes though. Quotes.
and I think motivation in Winnipeg too is like. I think once you travel and you come back, you're like, oh, you're all hyped, but that only lasts for a certain time, and then you have to find motivation somewhere else to, keep on going. So it gets tough.
Yeah,
it gets tough for sure. What are you guys into other than dance? Like, what do you guys do for hobbies and stuff? Or is dance your life?
I mean, does anything else exist? I don't understand. Is this question even valid? Just kidding. Go ahead, Allison.
Oh, okay. I love watching WWE.
Oh.
We have our pay-per-view sessions every month here in the basement. I love K-pop, Korean
Nice.
pop music, and what else? I don't know. Those are only two I do right now at the moment. Pay attention to. I don't really watch TV except for like now with you guys, but with the Olympics. But no, just that WWE and K-pop.
Nice. Who's your favorite WWE star?
Randy Orton, RKO and nowhere.
Watch out.
Brock, you're gonna lose, man.
What a cheater, Brock Lesnar. Oh, jeez. Steroids. You guys hear about that when
Yeah,
he like
yeah.
cheated
Oh,
against his fight and like in UFC? But yeah, Shaq, what do you like doing?
I play a lot of video games, watch a lot of anime. So, I'd be in the WWF too, or WWE, sorry.
Yeah.
If they put some subtitles on there and they spoke Japanese.
What's your favorite anime?
Oh my gosh. Well, I actually have a list. It's funny you asked.
Number one only.
Number one? Oh my goodness.
Don't tell me it's Naruto. Come on.
Hell no, it's not Naruto. Do I look like a... Wait, never mind. My number one. It changes all the time. I have a list of my favorites, but right now it's probably... Actually, you know what? No. Attack on Titan's probably my
Yeah.
favorite. Just because, that shit made me feel something. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man, but when are they gonna finish up the anime, man?
I don't think they're doing it season 2. I don't
Damn,
think
it's
so.
been years.
Yeah. Yeah, anime and video games. I'm that nerdy stuff. I'm all for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you look like a nerd. You used to do modeling, right, Shaq?
I used to, but fuck that. Yeah, I don't know. I did that for a while. I did that for a few years. I started in 2010, I think it was. 2010. I started modeling, and then
What was your code name? Like Chocolate Thunder or something?
code name. Like, I don't know what you think this is.
Mr.
Use my real name.
Chocolate.
What was your signature pose?
Like, we are not strippers. What's your stage name?
Welcome to the stage, Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, that's what they used to call me, Skid Mark. Old mudslide. No, when I started, I wasn't really a fan of it to begin with, to be perfectly honest. I started because it was cool to be able to say, I'm in modeling school, or I'm a model, you know what I mean? And, of course, pretty sweet profile pictures on Facebook, because that was what was popping in high school, you know what I mean? So I did it for a while, and then you would do, like, photo shoots, fashion shows, or whatever. But whenever you're doing a fashion show, it was similar to me on stage when you're dancing, right? And so I was always excited to do those. Those were probably my favorite thing to do. But I didn't ever get a chance to actually dance. So I was kind of like, man, like. And the thing is, too, the funny thing is you're walking to music, right? You have to walk on
hard.
beat, but you can't dance. So I was like, man, like, I'm so close. Like, I don't understand why I'm focusing on this. And then there was just an aspect of it to me that was just. It didn't sit right with me, you know what I mean? To me, in my experience, and I don't think this is going to be the same for everybody if they should, choose to model or whatever. But in my experience, when you're a model who's just starting out, and you have to do a job or something, or a photo shoot or a fashion show with models who have way more experience than you do, you kind of feel like you're being looked down on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you just don't have as much experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, like on the runway, like it just sucks.
I've been there. Just kidding.
Right, guys? Who's with me?
No, I have a face for radio.
You look like you're probably doing radio. No, but yeah, that like kind of judgmental aspect or atmosphere for me wasn't cool. So I didn't really have fun doing it besides when I was doing a fashion show. It was really good money, but I'm sorry, I'm good.
I just think that's kind of crazy how your value is based upon how you look. Like, I wonder how that feels like. That's like your currency almost, right? So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, it's like how you make money. But the thing is, too, is you will go to certain things. Like there's a competition or like a model search called Faces West.
Mhm.
And sometimes you go to those things like that, and you would watch girls get ripped apart. Like they make girls cry sometimes.
Oh, God.
Wow.
There was one girl, like this is an example I've told other people before, but there was one girl who had like frizzy hair. She had kind of a bigger nose. It really wasn't even that big to begin with, right? And she went to this thing one time, and then I can't remember who the client was, but they just ripped her apart. They're calling her hair ugly, her nose is too big, etc., etc. This girl left crying. She didn't change anything about her look. Came back the following year. Those same people that ripped her apart that first year told her they loved her look and they hired her right away. Right?
Did she didn't get a nose job or something?
She didn't get anything done. She came back exactly the same.
Oh.
And I guess they didn't even remember who she was.
It's just
What
the trends,
the hell?
man.
But it depends on the trends, right? But they'll be so rude if they don't like you. You know what I mean? Like being politically correct is not something that they're focused on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
And again, this is my experience. It might be different for other people, but I'm pretty sure for the most part, it's probably like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to promote or talk about before I let you guys go? Nothing.
Follow Wolves
Are
Dance
you-
Crew on Instagram
There it
and
is.
Twitter. We're starting out that YouTube soon.
Did you guys have auditions already?
We did. We had auditions.
How were they?
Yeah, how was it?
They're pretty good. You know what? For me, I was like, even if one person shows up, I'm happy.
Mhm.
'Cause
Was it like fresh faces?
they were fresh faces, yeah.
Oh, nice.
People I'd never seen before. So I was happy with that, and we got a few people. And we kind of almost hit my my cap for how many dancers I wanted on the team.
Good.
So we're at about 15 or 16 dancers now. We were at 10 in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
So again, to me, that's a huge jump.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with every soul we got on the team now.
You should let them know though. It's the last in the zone coming up.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
So if they're first and last.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
It's kind of sad, but
This will be your first in the zone, but it'll also be your last.
And I'm not
in
going to
the
tell you
zone.
why. I'm not going to explain that they're just not putting it out anymore. I'm just going to let them know it's their last time.
Are you guys teaching anywhere coming up? Are you like Shaq? Are you gonna be coming back to Rising Star, or what's going on with your teaching schedule and stuff?
This coming season, starting in September, I'll be solely teaching at Kids Etc. out in Charleswood. Won't be going back to Rising Star, but as for any workshops, I'll also be doing. Actually, me and Kelvin are working on a collab right now. Hopefully, getting to teach it soon because we started this collab back in like February.
oh, that's been a while.
The most anticipated collab of the summer. Yeah, no, we just kept like getting busy with different things, and having to keep postponing it. But we're pretty much almost done, so it should be happening soon.
Are you teaching anything?
I'd be down to teach if there was interest. Like, I like instead of classes, I like doing one-on-one sessions with people. It's just more personal and intimate. And yeah, whoever's interested, I don't mind teaching.
Yeah, like I think Mandy was bugging me on like, oh, when are you gonna do a podcast with Allison? I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that soon. We're gonna do that soon because she heard the one with MJ and she's like, oh, I really like that one. I'm like, you should have more like that. I'm like, okay, with females.
Yeah.
Female dancers? Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm putting that out there. If any other female dancers want to come on the podcast, we'll get video for that so they could capture your loveliness on on the podcast. But yeah. Anything else, guys?
I want to give a shout out to Angelo for having me and for teaching me how to lock. I want to give a shout out to all my different influences, the whole scene. Y'all keep me grounded, Shoot, I want to give a shout out to my record label. You know what I'm saying? We hold it down. Street sweepers. I'm just joking. If you don't mind, I'd like to spit a quick 16 bars. All right, let's do this.
Yo, look.
Oh,
Two Chains.
Sick. Yeah, that's right. My album coming soon. Be on the lookout. The summer is mine.
We the best.
Best music.
you're smart. You're loyal.
I'm also smart and loyal. Tell your girlfriend to pull up.
Allison, you wanna give any shout outs?
Shout out to my husband over here.
Yeah, E-Man.
Yeah, 10
Yeah.
years coming up.
Damn.
Shout out to my crew. GoodFunk.
Hey.
Yes.
So I'm like deactivated right now, but what else? Shout out to my mentors. Yao out in Taiwan. Gregor, I don't know where you are. Probably in Poland or New York. Link out there. And yeah. Winnipeg. What's up?
Woo.
Big city stand up.
I want to give a shout out to Rising Star Academy of Arts. We got our summer camps coming up soon. And also, Patrick Hilario will be teaching there this upcoming season.
Nice.
Hey.
So he is replacing Nim, who's going out to, well, close by to Dauphin. I think he's going to Dauphin. He's teaching to like in a city close to there or whatever.
Oh.
Shout out to Canadian Footwear. They let us use their boardroom a lot. So if you guys need any shoes or socks or anything that has to do with your feet, you know.
If you need
they got
feet, you need appendages.
And thanks to E-Man for letting us use the space. This is an awesome space. And thank you for recording, by the way. It's awesome. We didn't ask you to record, but you just invaded our privacy and
just
did it
got
anyways. No, I'm kidding. It's awesome. And shout out to Andrew, as always, our technician
Andrew.
behind the scenes.
CypherTalk.
Very underrated. All right, CypherTalk. We're out. Peace, guys.